Texans Colts this week. Got to go in the locker room, not this locker room. This is the locker room, number one source for Texans digital content. But it was open locker room today for the Texans. First, we heard from Nico Ryans. Then we went in the locker room. CJ Stroud will speak later on this week. But I got to speak with some guys who we don't hear from a lot. And three guys who had really, really good camps in different ways. Let's start with a guy who can make a huge impact. He's going to need to. Because he's got quite the void to fill. Mario Edwards, double-digit years in the NFL. He really had a very good camp. Now, does it say more about him or does it say more about potential concerns on the Texans' offensive line? Who knows? But I caught up with Mario Edwards, and I just asked him about his mindset heading into Indianapolis and whether or not he inherits some of the intensity that guys that are returning to the team from last year's squad have heading into Indianapolis. Here's what the veteran had to say during Texans open locker room.
You this week, how excited are you about it?
I'm very excited, man. I'm very excited to kick off the first season of the game. Finally hit some new people instead of hitting each other, so I'm excited.
So do you go back and relive the season finale last year, or is it just I wasn't there, it's a different mindset? Because I know there's probably a lot of players here that remember that, and it was kind of a turning point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm new here, so I can't really chime in with them. I just picked up on what the standard is here and try to do the standard every day.
Overall assessment of how you performed in camp and how you're feeling right now.
I think I did pretty good, man. It was one of the funnest camps that I had, but one of the most fastest camps, a pretty dominant camp as well. And I'm feeling good, man, going to the first game.
What made it so fun?
Man, just I guess new faces going around here, winning. You always have fun when you're winning and have a pretty good physical camp. And I think just traveling to Ohio, getting to different scenery was pretty good, too.
Yeah, getting out of the heat a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But you know a little bit about that, for sure. I don't want to blow your cover, but I heard you talking, you might go to Joseph A. Bank. Hey, I respect that.
Yes, sir. I like to wear my suits on the away game, so trying to get a couple suits knocked out of the way for a few weeks.
Yeah, and they look. If you pull them off, you can make them look as good as the guys that are spending like thousands, man. All right, I appreciate you. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
All right, that's Mario Edwards. I'm telling you, he had a really, really good camp. And I like Mario Edwards. I remember his dad. I'm kind of dating myself. But shout out to him for the Joseph A. Bank. Joseph A. Bank, you can make it look like some of these expensive custom suits. So that's a guy who's going to be starting on D-line, a guy who was going to contribute, but with the Autry suspension, perhaps what you expect from him kind of increases. It'll be interesting to see what he looks like in an actual game. If it's anything like camp, then I think we're going to like what we see. It is the locker room, number one source for Texans digital content. We're getting to know some of the Texans and hearing from some of the Texans that we don't hear from very often during locker room access. There's going to be a couple more of these throughout the week, so I'll try to each week provide you with perspective from guys that we don't hear from. We'll also get into what D'Amico had to say and the heavy hitters and stuff, but this is just some of the guys that we don't hear from very much, exclusive conversations, including Kris Boyd. Kris Boyd, we did not think Kris Boyd was going to make the Texans, although special teams, it's been an important element of this squad. They've been really, really good in special teams, elite in special teams the last few years. Kris Boyd, part of those special teams, and he made the squad. And I'll tell you what, Kris Boyd gave me probably like a 3-minute answer on what he brings to the Texans. You can tell he's very, very excited. Let's hear from another guy. He's not going to be starting. Who knows if he'll be active, but if he is, he's going to be out there on kickoff, on fourth down, making plays, and you're going to notice him because he brings the juice. Here's Kris Boyd as we continue to get to know some guys we don't hear from very often. Here's Kris Boyd talking about making the Texans his journey and how he's feeling heading into the 2024 season.
Battle in camp. What was your reaction when you made the squad? Did you get a second to enjoy it, relax a little bit?
I mean, I'm one-track minded. I'm just want to be the best teammate I could be. When I got the news, well, you don't really get the news. You kind of find out people call you because you're not really expecting the call. I just kind of approach it how I always have, let's do it. Like, that's just a mentality. And when I say let's do it, that's like, let's go, let's roll. The season here, we know what it's about to take. It's a grind, a long grind. You got to be willing. And I'm pretty sure everybody in this room is. So that's why we're here. Wouldn't be here for no reason. And, I was excited, blessed, and I just thank God. I gave thanks, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This opportunity is probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. You know, to live your dream. I couldn't ask for nothing more.
Coach Frank Ross talks about your energy. How much do you enjoy being out there, whether it's a kickoff, punt? How much do you like special teams? It seems like you bring a little extra juice when you're out there.
I take pride in it. You know, I tend to say, yeah, I'm one of the best teamers out there in the league. I don't know. And I just feel like, you know, that's what it is here, and that's the culture for the Texans, you know. Before I was even here, Texans special team was a force, you know. They was number one, I think, the past 3 years or so. Even when I was in Minnesota, that we was keeping track up here in Texas, and they had came out number one. You know, and it's crazy that I ended up here. And I seen Frank. I'm like, when we seen each other, we kind of already knew what time it was. I'm like, yeah, we finally meet. You know, so being with him, seeing how great of a coach he is, his schemes and everything he does. I mean, I didn't really want anything else. I didn't want to be nowhere else. I wanted to be here, stay here, you know. So I just did whatever was required, whatever it took. And this is what it is, you know. You got to be willing, you know. And you see that with everybody in this building, not just the players, it's the coaches, the staff. Everybody want to kind of help, you know, along the aspect of us all coming together, just put the pieces together for the one goal, you know, and everybody know what that is. That's a Super Bowl. And I'm just thankful, like being out there, you know, playing with these guys, Nell, you know, all them, Tommy coming in. I can't wait for this combo that we about to have, you know. And then teams, man. I mean, even last year, you see it like in the playoffs. We like, and even in regular season, the kick return. It started with DP when he had the kick return. You see everybody going crazy. Then playoffs come around. The whole week, I'm sitting up here telling Shaq and LT. I think we was in the hot tub. I'm over here telling them the whole time. I'm like, yeah, I'm making the play as soon as I step out there. If I don't, shoot me. Okay. And so when I go out there and make the tackle, like as soon as I come to the sideline, it's like they was joking around, like ain't no shots being fired. Like we was making a joke about it, but I mean that's just what it's gonna be week in, week out, you know. And I love these guys, you know. We've built a good thing here, and I'm just doing whatever's asked of me.
What's worse, Minnesota winter or Texas summer?
Are you blushing?
Oh no, CJ was messing with me. I don't know. I kind of enjoy both. You know, like I'm used to the heat.
Winter? You enjoy that?
Because I'm not used to the snow. You know,
Oh,
so
man.
when it was
That's
snow,
piercing.
yeah.
Man.
And I had like a nice condo. So when it snowed, I would just like
Chill.
look out the window and like
Okay.
see the whole
Visual.
city and everything. It was nice. And now with these summers, I still sit in the house.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
just hot as hell. That's it. That's the only difference.
So you got the humility in the NFL. Let's get cocky a little bit. How much does Texas win by this week against Michigan?
Ooh, 14. I say 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. 14?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Look 'em horns.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Kris Boyd. Yeah, you can tell he's excited. He's giddy about making the squad. And I mean, that special teams, man, that third phase, we hear coaches talk about it a lot. So we have a special team where we have a starter on defense. Let's combine both. A guy that is going to be starting on defense, most likely. He can play all three linebacker positions. He's one of your best special teams players, Jake Hansen. It's been a different type of journey for Jake Hansen. We don't hear from him very often. I'm a big fan of his work. I think Jake Hansen is a really underrated football player, and I'm intrigued to see what he looks like on defense. He's got a challenge ahead of him. He seems to be up for it. Don't take my word for it. Let's hear from the man himself as we continue to hear from Texans that we might not hear from that often here in the locker room.
Well, overall thoughts. Obviously expected to probably play a little more defense than you did last year when y'all went there. How you feeling?
No, I'm excited. We had a good camp. Was able to build in year two in the defense and get real comfortable with what the coaches are looking for. And I just was trying to take the coaching the best way I can and go make some plays out there. So.
Do the emotions kind of maybe resurface from how the regular season ended last year and then going back there to start it off?
Oh yeah, I mean it's exciting because I mean like you said, last year was a playoff atmosphere, but knowing it's a division game, every one of those division games is important in the playoffs and deciding who's going to win the South. So
Frank has talked about the mindset on special teams. It's a little bit more juiced up. do you have to kind of adjust knowing that you're going to play more defense? Like, is there a different mindset from, playing 3 downs at linebacker versus playing like 4th down special teams or kickoff or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit different. Like, it's just maybe your preparation's a little bit different. Like, spend a little bit more time on defense or special teams, like going into the week, knowing your role and what you're going to be expected of coming on Sunday. So, I mean, it changes your preparation. You may add a little bit more defense, but I would say more of it's just adding extra stuff and preparing for taking more reps. Like, the more reps you have, the more you probably got to study and be on top of everything, right? So that's kind of the mentality and how it switches up every week. So
appreciate you, man.
All right, there we go. That's Jake Hansen getting to know some Texans we normally don't talk to. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to ride along. We're going to have these videos throughout the week. You can catch the full interviews. They're only going to get better right here on the Locker Room in YouTube. And be sure to spread the word. And always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. D'Amico Ryans goes hardo. We got the night stream. We got a lot of stuff to get into throughout the week. CJ Stroud going to speak sooner rather than later. Tomorrow as well, the Texan scouts going to speak. Don't know what the hell I'm going to ask them, but who knows? Appreciate you for coming through. We're all in this together. The season is upon us. My goodness, we are finally here. Let's go.
You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do.